11, Gateway 7-11 as well, Cochise 5-11, and Mesa Community College at 3-13. So Jonah Johnson, the right-hander, getting ready to fire the heat, and stepping in is the shortstop, number 31, Tyrus Hall, a young man who I had the opportunity to talk to a little bit on the way in. Looking forward to tonight's game, and Jonah Johnson, of course, looking to be a factor for the Coyotes in the second half of the season. First pitch from Johnson, and that's a fastball over the middle for strike one. Appreciate you joining us on the Chandler Gilbert Sports Network. Jonah Johnson locked in, fires, breaking ball outside part of the plate, misses, goes to 1-1. Soon enough, I'll be joined by the doctor, Dr. Adam Perry, that is, the future anesthesiologist, as Hall takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. Goes to 1-2. And the doctor is in the house after making house calls across the field and sharing his goodwill and the ambassadorial duties across the Chandler Gilbert baseball field. He is now on the mic.
Yeah, had to have a follow-up with some patients a minute ago, but, good to be on the mic, Joe. Good to be back. And we got a good game here today.
Jonah Johnson on the hill. And give us kind of a breakdown of what you've seen of Jonah. Still looking for that first win of the season, and no question he's pitched better of late.
Yeah, so looking for the first win of the season for him, but that's definitely not indicative of his skill set and his performances over, the course of the season. His fastball curveball combo is just something to be reckoned with, man. That fastball, a lot of spin rate, it's going to stay up on you. And then that curveball, my goodness, does it fall off the table, Joe.
So it's 3-2. We also bring in the future doctor, that is Nate Ortiz. And we saw Nate just pound down a piece of pizza like he's never eaten food in his life. And I respect that, because back in the day, as this one's lined to center, this is going to drop in, and Hall gets the blaze going in the right direction here at the top of the first. So, Nate, you threw down pizza like a champ.
Yes, sir.
And give us kind of a mindset of the Coyotes coming off a split against Cochise coming into this one.
Yeah, the mindset coming into this one, you could see by just by who they're playing, Yotes are they trust their guys, even if it's not their starting nine, they trust the rest of their team to get it done.
Johnson winds and delivers, and nice little bender right there, and Austin goes and takes it for strike one. So the Coyotes coming off a hard-fought split against Cochise, and that just shows right there, Doc, that doesn't matter what the team's record is. When you're playing, swung right through, and that throw down nearly took a piece of Johnson.
Yeah.
Gets out of the way as Hall steals second base. And now it's the Blaze with a runner in scoring position in the top of the first. So getting back to the initial point, that doesn't matter the records in this conference. You go on the road, you have to respect every team. And, the Coyotes, lucky they got the split against Cochise and left that park with a good taste in their mouth.
Yeah, absolutely. They dropped the first one, but, after a hard-fought game in the second one, they pulled out the win 5-4. And, Cochise College maybe doesn't have the best record on the season, but, everyone in this entire state, really, they can all play baseball. Every school out here is competitive, man.
Yeah, you can't really underestimate anyone in this conference.
Yeah.
Bottom line, state of Arizona, this one bounced to Johnny Versatility, and Enright throws over to first base for the first out here in the top of the first. No question, in the state of Arizona, with the weather so conducive, you got kids from across the state that have linked on to one of the local community colleges. Look, everyone can play. Bottom line, a record sometimes, as you mentioned, not indicative of how good the team is. It just sometimes they fall in bad luck, right? Sometimes the pitching is just not there. A play here or there can be conducive into a losing streak. So needless to say, the Coyotes get the split. They're back home and looking to do some damage against the Blaze tonight as Miles Naylor fouls off a bender for strike one. Defense, of course, as we kind of mentioned off the top, Eric Anderson behind the plate, Justin George at first base, Devin DeVere at second, John Enright at short, Seth Moore at third, Amir McGee in left, and this one is scorched to left center. McGee going back, and that's going to go over his head. and the runner held up for a split second. He's going to come around to score, and that is going to put the Blaze on the scoreboard as Miles Naylor tattooed one to left center. Tyrese Hall had to hold up for a split second to see if it would fall. It does, and the Blaze jump out on top. And Doc, your thoughts on what Jonah tried to get away with and did not right there?
Yeah, so I mean, we've talked about it a few times so far this season, but anytime a pitcher is leaving stuff a little bit up in the zone, you know, more likely than not, that ball is going to be tattooed a little bit, and Jonah paid the price there. That double puts Langley in an early lead.
So Cameron McLeod stepping up, looking to do some damage, and this one is scorched, and Seth Moore showing the glove and fires it over. Good pick at first base by Justin George and Seth Moore. We've seen a lot of him in the outfield, and Nate, you know, and sometimes you get a player like Seth Moore, they have the ability to show the versatility, put him, whether it be left field or put him in the infield, and doesn't matter. They can do what they do and shine.
Yeah, you know, I actually, I don't know if you remember me telling you, I played with Seth in high school, and he's always been playing all over the field. You know, that kid, he can run despite his size, and he's got power, too, at the plate.
You can't judge a book by the cover,
Cannot judge a book by its cover.
Seth Moore is freaky athletic.
Yeah, Seth Moore made it look easy on that 5-3 put out, and checking in is Deaton LaChance against Jonah Johnson. And this one is sky deep left field. Amir McGee going back, and this one leaves the yard, and Deaton LaChance is going to touch them all, and the Blaze jump out to a 3-0 lead. And Eric Anderson goes out to talk to Jonah Johnson, and Doc, right now, Jonah Johnson's doing one thing. He's hanging the benders.
Yep, that one just a little bit too far up in the zone. I'm sure Jonah Johnson, you know, after that quick conversation, knows what adjustments he has to make. And, you know, 3 runs is no task too tall for this Coyote offense. So he should just do his best job at limiting here. And with a clean slate, no one on, hopefully he can have a little mental reset.
And that was actually Reese Kozar on the 2-run homer, knocking it out of the yard, and stepping in is Remy LeMay, the right fielder. So the Blaze putting up a 3 spot early, knocking the ball around the yard a little bit, and Jonah Johnson trying to find himself in the course of this first inning. Great weather for baseball. Slight chill in the air. I brought the jacket just in case.
Yeah,
Johnson.
Gotta have the jacket.
Absolutely. And LeMay swings and misses on that pitch on the outside part of the plate. Johnson. And this one is slow roller right back to Johnson. He'll toss over, and that's going to do it. But the Blaze with some thunderous noise in the first, highlighted by the 2-run shot by Reese Kozar. We go to the bottom of the first with the Blaze with a 3-0 lead. Top of the second, Jonah Johnson in his second inning of work. He'll face Keegan Drinkle, JV Tagradar, as well as Chase Williams. First pitch outside for ball 1. And Jonah Johnson with a rough first inning, scattering 3 hits, and Reese Kozar with the 2-run homer. A lot of those balls were tattooed. And that misses inside. It quickly goes to 2-0 on Keegan Drinkle. The catcher. And Jonah Johnson trying to reel it in a little bit after a rough first. That misses outside as Eric Anderson tried to freeze it and frame it perfectly on that outside corner. Doesn't get the call. So a 3-0 count on Keegan Drinkle. Coyotes playing pretty much straight away, and that misses way inside. And not the way Jonah Johnson wanted to start his second inning. And checking in is J.V. Taguador. Coyotes playing Taguador straight away. Drinkle with a short lead at first, and Johnson wants to make sure he stays there. The other member of our broadcast team, Andrew Furry, will be with us shortly. He's on a scouting mission to watch his little brother play for Hamilton, which is one of the premier baseball programs in the state of Arizona, right off Arizona Avenue. Mike Woods runs a great program right there, always in the conversation yearly as Johnson throws over to first base. And at some point we'll have to ask as he's walking in as we speak. We'll get the breakdown of as Johnson fires a bender over the plate and the throw down to first base chases Drinkle back. A 1-1 count.
Yeah, good job by JG at first order to keep that one in front. You know, last thing you want is that going in the right field.
And Justin George following the flow path of the ball, scooping it up and making the nice play. 1-1 pitch. Bender outside, goes to 2-1.
And, you know, going back to the topic of JG really quick, congratulations. I mean, he just committed to a 4-year Salem University. So, you know, really proud of him. I know he's going to go out there and do great things. So I'm sure he's super excited, and he's playing really well today so far.
Yeah, that's great because ultimately when you play junior college, it's about, first and foremost, it's about your education. Making sure you get your 4-year degree to give yourself an opportunity in life. 2-2 pitch and blows it right past Taguador for the first out here in the bottom of the second. Stepping in, the right fielder, Chase Williams. And then we'll go back to the top of the order with Tyrus Hall. So great job by Justin George on his way to play baseball at Salem University and continue his baseball and educational career. And that's, look, bottom line, you want to see that for the rest of the roster as well.
That's why we're here.
To get that opportunity.
Yep.
Williams at the dish. And we've seen Jonah really working that bender.
Yeah.
Trying to find his look at that pitch, and as he glances over at Drinkle, the pitch, this one fouled straight back. Jonah Johnson had a good outing a couple weeks ago right here on the game we broadcast. Looking Drinkle back at first base. Pitch to Williams. This one slow roller, tough play. Seth Moore, glove you tender, and Moore fires over to get the out. Quality 5-3 put out by the beast of Arizona Avenue, Seth Moore, for the second out here in the bottom of the second. And stepping in, Tyrus Hall singled his first time up. Hall got it going. It was a Hall single, later scored on a Miles Naylor double. And then it was a Reese Kozar leading the yard with a 2-run homer. And that is where we are, 3-0 Blaze here in the second. Johnson. And gives Hall a bit of the breaking.
Yeah, nice bender there.
Jonah, compared to last inning, starting to get ahead in the counts, find his spots a little better. Comes right back, throw down by Anderson. And Johnny Enright was trying to backdoor pick Shrinkage at second base.
Yeah, good idea. Keep the runner honest over there.
So this game has a very similar feel to playing the Okadokes. The Coyotes faced a couple weeks ago, and they split those. And the Okadokes in that final matchup, they came out, they were fired up, and they took it to the Coyotes in this one. And the Blaze are kind of setting the tone, putting a 3 spot in that first inning. And Doctor, please elaborate. Look, when you suit up, doesn't matter who you're playing, the competitive juices are flowing.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And sometimes you don't come out with your best stuff to start the game. So hopefully Jonah can make some adjustments and, dial things in. But, for Jonah, I wouldn't be too worried. I mean, his strikeout to walk ratio is pretty good. It's right above the MLB average being 2.8. His is right around 3 as that ball is grounded over to Enright. The throw as it pulls Justin George off the bag, and the runner from third is going to come home. That's don't know how to pronounce that.
That was Keegan Drinkle who scored. So now it's a 4-0 Blaze lead as Hall gets on the error. And stepping in, Austin Gozen grounded out to short his first time up. So that's a play right there. Enright got to make a good throw, and on the other side, Justin can stretch a little bit and make that play. So it's a combination, not the best throw and not the best pick on the ball either.
Yeah.
So the Coyotes with an uphill battle here in front of the home crowd, now trailing 4-0. Goes in at the dish. Runner's going. Throw down by Anderson. Throws a bullet, but it's going to be on the outside by Johnny Enright with the sweep tag, and that's going to do it for Tyrus Hall. But the Blaze get another. We go to the bottom of the second with the Coyotes with some more.